and welcome back to another episode of The Credit Authority. Once again, I am your host, Rhonda Kulch, and I am so glad that you tuned in today. We always want to start our segment by thanking our sponsors, so thank you to Equity First. If you are experiencing credit and or financial challenges for yourself or for your business, consider reaching out to any one of their trained professionals. They are bilingual, nationwide, and waiting for your call. They can be reached at 631-714-4822. We would also like to thank the Boss Network. Today's segments are all sponsored by Boss Network, and we are interviewing this week several different members from this commercial industry. So with us in studio right now is Todd Corcoran. How are you?
Great. Yourself?
I am doing wonderful. And of course, Todd, you are with Fire Protection.
Yes, W&M Fire Protection.
So, a lot of times when we're speaking about networking on Long Island, we're thinking about the attorney, the accountant, the financial planner. What I love about Boss is the diversity of businesses that are really centered around commercial and industrial. So explain to us a little bit about fire protection and really the marketplace. Like, who are you communicating with and who is your target audience?
Sure. Anybody that owns and operates a commercial property or industrial property that has a fire protection sprinkler system and fire alarm system in it. Those two systems are required to be inspected on a quarterly, semi-annual, and annual basis, depending on the jurisdiction that they're in, and we provide that service with the inspections. From the inspections, there's some deficiencies that come along, and we do all those repairs and services. We really try to make a network and relationship with our customers to also tackle their larger projects when they're at bay here.
So I'm sure there's two different verticals, right? You have your new construction and then you have your pre-existing. So if you have somebody who is developing right now and they are going to be looking to put a sprinkler system in, which we both know is required by code, what kind of advice, how do you engage with that client and what type of information do you need so that you can appropriately really kind of price them out?
Sure. So usually what they could do is they're going to hire an architect at first and develop a set of plans. And when they can get those plans in front of us, we can then do a prelim drawing to determine how many sprinkler heads, the size of the piping, the layout of the fire alarm system that's required for that building. Then we can get involved with budgetary items with them and proceed with construction afterwards.
Is this something that you install, or is it that the contractors install it and then you approve it?
No, we actually install. So we're soup to nuts, right? We're going to do your design for you. We're going to do the fabrication. We're going to do the installation. We're going to do the commissioning and sign off on it. And then we're going to stay with you afterwards and do a yearly contract with you for the inspection of that system. And then we can inspect other systems that we don't install as well.
I love that. Now, let's just say I'm somebody who is looking to, again, develop and design out commercial space. Are there a variety of products that you can choose from? We're talking about budget, right? So is there a variety of products that you can choose from so that somebody can say, I prefer this, or this has more features than potentially something else?
Sprinkler systems are pretty simple. So a couple of factors can be if you're using steel pipe or a plastic type pipe. There's a plastic type of pipe on the market that we don't suggest or use. And there's another one that we use more in residential homes that we like and more cost effective. On the fire alarm side, we also we carry the Siemens product, and we can get over-the-counter items as well to be a little more cost effective. On the sprinkler side, there's cover plates that have different designs. You see these in the ceilings. They're typically a white circle. Now with some on the home side, you can get a wood finish look, a different paint look to it. So there's some options there.
So if I'm understanding correctly, you do commercial and residential.
Correct. Yes.
When would somebody on the residential side want to call you in?
So typically when there's a third story involved, and that's determined in reasoning per code, is the fire department has a difficult time getting up there. So if you have a third floor, that's going to require a sprinkler system on the third floor and means of egress getting out of that area. So we can come into an existing home and install such system and design that. With a new home of a certain size, depending on where you're building the home, you'll have a sprinkler system throughout. Currently, we're working on a large project here in Long Island in Manhasset Crest with Toll Brothers, and all 45 homes are getting fully sprinkled, basements, first floor, second floor.
Is there, from a resale perspective, is there additional value that comes with having this installed?
Oh, 100%. There, your insurance premiums are lowered, and then, there's what the sprinkler system does for you and your family. It's there to protect lives and your assets. So it buys you time to get out of your home or a commercial property. There's a lot of myths out there that everybody sees in the Hollywood movies and things that if there's a fire, every sprinkler system goes off in the whole entire facility. That's not the case.
I was just
right?
going to ask you that.
And so what happens, it's a very simple thing, right? There's a fire that starts, it gains heat rises, it goes to the ceiling, and standard sprinkler head it's going to melt its linkage at 155 degrees, and that is going to dispense water on the fire. Now, the heads are roughly, 10, 12 feet away from each other, so if that heat goes to the next head at 155, then the next head will pop off and will go off. So most fires are put out or maintained with only 1 to 3 sprinkler heads before the fire department comes.
So if I'm understanding, it's heat detected, not necessarily smoke detected.
Correct. With a sprinkler system, mechanical sprinkler system, it's going to be heat. That's your standard wet or dry sprinkler system. A fire alarm system is going to be detected with smoke.
My concern always, as being a homeowner, is having a false alarm, right? My kids are using the toaster, something happens. It's not a heat scenario, but it is by far a smoke scenario. Look, I have 5 boys. I don't even want to tell you the stories that go on in my house, but that would be a concern. How do you speak to a homeowner to reassure them that these false positives will not happen? Yeah,
and that's that's a big myth as well, like I said. So it's heat. 155 degrees is a very high temperature for a sprinkler head to go off. And most of these are, again, in commercial uses as well. So if there's cases, say, in a prison or a high security area, there's other heads on the market there to protect that head from being damaged as well before it can go off. And the misconception here is, the damage of the water is far less than the fire department with hoses that are much stronger with a different PSI pressure.
Which makes sense. So it actually mitigates the damage and keeps it contained from the sounds of it.
Yes, and it buys you time as well to leave the property.
Now, when we're speaking about, fire and smoke detection, how do people find you?
So we do, some marketing campaigns as well. And a lot of times it's, if the local authorities, the fire department, the fire marshals, sometimes issue a violation, then they're looking for somebody in the local area. We're here in Holbrook and Long Island. We also have an office in Westchester and Hawthorne, and another one in Central Connecticut, all with the W&M Fire Protection name.
Is this a product or a service that takes a long time to inspect, install, or fix?
So it is definitely a service. The products and the raw material that we used are pretty common. So there's no real issues with lead times on that. And the beginning stages, it's information that we need. We need water pressure information that you have out in the street. If you have the water coming into the building already, if it's an existing building, or if we can start with you from scratch and help you do the underground system that we do, and then bring it into the building and do a full system for you.
Now, obviously, you are part of the Boston Network, right, who is sponsoring the show today. So when you join networking groups, who are you looking to connect with?
Resident managers, chief engineers, property owner developers, maintenance crews, anybody that wants to protect their assets with their life safety systems.
I love it. So once again, we are in studio today. We are speaking with Todd Corcoran with Fire Protection. Their office is located conveniently right here in Holbrook, and you can reach out to them at 631-472-4500. Otherwise, until next time, stay tuned. We're going to be getting ready to bring on our next guest.